He charged me with resisting arrest.
Get that confidence in jail.
I object.
Hello, fellow patriots. Welcome to another.
Oh, sorry.
Welcome to another episode of Allegedly Bravo, a podcast where we talk about all things Bravo crime, allegedly. And today is one of those episodes where we don't adhere to our own description.
Right.
We are going off the rails again. This is another total segue. Very similar to, I would say, Lauren's deep dive into the
David Dobrik
of it all.
Mhm.
This is going to be my deep dive into the infamous Dan Bilzerian. And for those of you guys who don't know, Dan Bilzerian is, I guarantee you've seen him on Instagram. He's that short, stocky dude with a swollen stomach and the chiseled beard to cover up his fat, bloated alcohol face.
Wow.
Who has like 50 women around him and generally a machine gun or a tank of sorts.
It's so spot on. Like the description is so spot on.
Do you know who he is, Lord?
I do.
And how long have you known who he is?
So actually, I'm going to amend my statement. I know what he looks like. And I know what he looks like for probably the last maybe 4 or 5 years. But just like, I'm always like, I wonder what that guy with the shorts is doing. You know, like that's how I think about him.
Yeah, it's like maybe a quarterly thought where then you jump on his Instagram to do a deep dive and just
like have my mouth open, totally agape. Like, what goes on?
Yeah. I don't know the first time that I don't know how I was made aware of his accounts. I don't know.
He was on my For You page. That's how I found him.
Okay, maybe
he found me, really.
Yeah. Maybe I must have seen him on another Instagram page or like Barstool or something.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, probably.
And I was just so fascinated with this guy because he just totes his guns around, he totes his hose around, and he's just this almost caricature person.
Okay, it's so bizarre to even just know he exists, like just to see his pictures and stuff. It's like, how did he get all this money? So tell us who he is. Who is this guy?
Okay, so really quickly though, just going back to his appearance, you know who he looks like?
Who?
That photo that went around of Zac Efron with his jaw implants or his jaw injections.
Oh,
that's the vibe. Just like
that is so the vibe.
That juiced up, clenched jaw with his
aggressive, angular, like rock hard in a not sexy way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you asked who is Dan Bilzerian?
Yeah. Who is he?
Okay. So that is a multifaceted question, and we will try to dive into each layer in depth as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
But this episode specifically is focused on being a fraud. On
Dan being a fraud?
A total fraudster.
Oh my God. I love a top of a fraudster.
Total, just like giving you Rudy Madoff vibes, you know, just like pyramid schemes, corporate corruption. So
yeah, okay. just so you know, I did like a very brief Google search.
Okay. So Dan Bilzerian grew up in Florida. Very Trump energy, you know, where it's like, I come from humble beginnings and I just was given a small $1 million loan from my father.
Yeah.
So he grew up in Florida in a 28,000 square foot home.
Oh my God.
He is of Armenian descent.
Wait, I think my apartment is 1,000 square feet. He lives in 28 of my apartments.
Well, I'm pretty sure like the average Costco is probably 28,000 square feet. Like, you know,
that gives me a heart attack. Oh,
I'm assuming it's got to be the same.
It's got to be.
It's just such an absurd amount of square footage.
Yeah, that is absurd. Okay, so I blacked out after you said 28,000 square foot home. What was the other part?
So he grew up in Florida with his brother. His parents were married. They came from, I think his father might just be Armenian. I'm not sure if his mom is, but him and his brother have a dual citizenship in Armenia.
Okay.
As well as the United States. Dad was a huge player in Wall Street corporate America. And I'm sure this is not going to be shocking to people, but he was indicted or arrested for money laundering, fraud, and what's that thing that Martha Stewart did? Oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Insider trading.
Insider trading.
Yeah. But I went in my research, some people said that his dad, Paul Bilzerian, went to jail and served like a 13-month sentence for this, where others said that he actually didn't serve the sentence and he went and stayed on like a remote island to, like very Roman Polanski,
like on house arrest instead.
No, decided just up and leave out of the country so he couldn't be
taken.
Yeah, and I guess he was charged and he was told that he had to pay $65 million back to the government. Yeah, for like all these SEC violations. I think he only paid back a couple million. So there's still like a $50 million debt that's outstanding that needs to be paid. So this is where Dan Bilzerian comes in. So
okay.
Dan
Bilzerian. So wait, can I just recap for 1 second? So the lifestyle that Dan comes from is two parents who have been married for his whole life in a big, huge home in Florida that's like a Costco size home in Florida. And this is his humble beginnings.
Yes. But
and his dad is like maybe at jail, but also maybe at Lolita Express.
Definitely,
wow.
Definitely was on that Lolita Express, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure he probably was the pilot.
Oh, shit.
So anyways, grows up in Florida, has, issues, behavioral issues, goes to like 4 different high schools, gets kicked out, goes and I mean, it's still, we don't know if he graduated high school, but at one point he was kicked out or kicked off of campus, arrested for bringing a machine gun and shotgun onto his campus.
Okay, so I saw an interview splice of him speaking about that incident, and he's like, yeah, like, I don't know, there might have been like a machine gun and like a shotgun and like maybe it was like in my car or something, like being such a freak about it. And then he goes, yeah, it was right after Columbine. And the person who was interviewing him was like a doe in headlights, like eyes all big. And he's like, it was a bad timing, if you will.
So when I watched that interview, that is the moment it clicked in my head. Like, he is a confirmed pathological liar.
An insane person and a pathological liar.
And you guys will understand more of why we think that he's a pathological liar when we get deeper into this fraud scam vibes. But okay, so he graduates high school, and I'm saying that loosely in air quotes.
He stops attending at some point for some reason, be it graduation or by choice.
So then he goes directly into the Navy, and I'm assuming, I think you have to have a high school degree to go into the military. So we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, maybe he paid for a GED.
Yeah, maybe he got that GED.
From his humble beginnings.
Yeah. So he goes off to the Navy, is in the Navy, I think, for like 4 or 5 years. And then he decides, hey, I want to join the SEAL teams. So he goes, and this is where
the Navy SEAL teams.
Yes.
Okay, question. Does SEAL stand for something?
Yeah, it's like oh gosh.
I always wondered because it always just like is all capitals, but there's no period. So I was like, is it just like we're calling them the SEALs because they go in the water for like that first part? Or why are we doing this?
No. It stands for sea, air, and land, I think. There might be another term. Yeah. So he goes off and he goes to SEAL training, which is called BUDS, which is the underground demolition training that they have to do. Like, I think it's called basic underground demolition training. So it's
underwater.
Underwater. Would I say underground?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But they're
Oh my
seals, remember?
Yeah, sorry, underwater. They're like in our basements.
Like, excuse me, can you scram?
They're in Elon Musk's tunnel that's going from LA to.
Oh my God, I died.
Okay, so this is where the red flags start to just are
Go.
raised all over the place.
Okay.
So he went on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I'm sure he went on a million other platforms before he got onto Joe Rogan's podcast, and openly talked about the fact that he graduated BUD/S training, which is a very 24-week, very rigorous training.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the elite few that end up passing. Well,
so I've heard that like most people who even go to this training don't even make it past the first part. So
yeah.
to even make it past the first part, and then like that's one brag, and then to like make it and be done, like that's an even bigger brag.
Yeah. So he told on the Joe Rogan podcast, said that he was in BUD/S for 52 weeks or like 50 weeks. And he had broken his legs while running. And then he was administratively discharged and relieved because one of the trainers or one of the sergeants, whoever runs the BUD/S training, didn't like him. So he was just relieved administratively, which he said he had no idea that was something that they were allowed to do.
So he broke his legs while he was running, and then they were just like, okay, you can go.
Allegedly, which I highly, highly, highly doubt.
Like, I'm not from the military. I don't have a military background, but I've dated a military or two.
Well,
and it just doesn't seem like that's the route.
Well, and so this is my question, though. This is where the stories don't line up. One moment it's I broke my legs, both legs. I wasn't able to run. And so I'm assuming, therefore, you couldn't complete training. But then another story of, yeah, the officer that was training us didn't like us, had an issue with me. And so he just like put the kibosh on it. And it's like, wait. So
did you graduate or did you get kicked out?
So he supposedly was in 3 different BUD/S classes. He was kicked out 2 days before, I believe, graduation because he had unlawfully, or like not unlawfully, but like improperly discharged a weapon in the middle of the shooting range.
You mean to tell me that weird kid with the machine gun in his trunk discharged a weapon wrong?
Right after Columbine?
I mean, bad timing, allegedly. Oh yeah. My God.
So he goes around, though, and makes people believe that he was an actual graduate of SEALs training, and the only reason why he didn't actually go on to participate in as being a SEAL was because, this injury, and so he had to drop out. And so it's this weird fabricated story, and it's all just it's so insane to me. It's
stolen valor too, is I believe the word that we're looking for.
It's stolen valor, and you can be prosecuted for that federally if you in any way actually benefit financially from using somebody's valor, or like using
as if you had the training of the United States military behind you.
Lauren,
I mean, that's so bad.
Speaking of stolen valor, remember, okay, so my sister, you guys, is a professor at a college. And she worked with a professor who was holding himself out to be a Navy SEAL. And we have family connections, and we have people in our family that were Navy SEALs. And so we know the training, and we know what goes into it. We know the process, and we still have familial connections. And so my sister was like really excited to see this person that was in her department wearing a Navy SEAL trident hat, and like
it's like family.
Yeah, and like boasting about being a SEAL, because there's just this camaraderie that comes along with it. But as my sister got to know this person, his stories didn't line up, very much like Dan Bilzerian, where he was telling one person one thing and then another person another, and my sister started to catch on to it.
Yeah.
And remember, we were in law school and we created that flyer.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to post this flyer of him on campus telling people that he was such a fraud because he was going around and wearing the Navy SEAL trident, which is blasphemous, because you're going around leading people to believe that you are of an elite few and that you put your life on the line to protect this country, and because you want some cool points.
Yeah, it's so weird. And it's also like thinking about it from like a non-military perspective, like I don't have the same headspace, you know? To me, I think about it like the people who graduate from SEAL training have, I think, don't they call them like the $1 million men? Because it's just like the government has just fueled so much into training these people. And if you say you're a person of this level, like you have all this training that hardly anyone in the world would be able to have. And it's like a really big deal. And if it would go on a resume or something, like it would get you a different job than someone who wasn't a SEAL would get, you know? So it's fucking crazy, like on so many different levels, like to be acting this way. And then, so this fool's doing it too, Mr. Humble.
Yeah. And so what I don't understand about people that pathologically lie, especially on a public platform so openly, you are going to get called out and people are going to fact check you. So that's
did anyone fact check him?
Oh, my sister's situation?
Yeah.
So we tried looking into it. Didn't we do like a deep dive on it? And we
I
tried
feel like
finding,
we went on his like Facebook or something.
yeah, we tried doing this really, really deep dive. But after my sister started asking all these probing questions, he like wiped everything clean. He stopped wearing his trident hat, stopped wearing, and he stopped telling people about it. And I don't know what happened after that, because I never really followed up with it after law school, and then COVID hit, so they're off campus. But I should check in on that.
I would be very interested, because it's kind of like this guy, it seems like with his changing of the stories and everything with Dan, it's like seems the same with this coworker, because like whenever someone asks Dan a question or a follow-up question, he's like, well, I broke both my legs. Well, actually they kind of kicked me out, like, and I didn't think that was possible, like stuff like that.
Well, yeah. And I think that it's interesting that he has these stories, like an injury that where there's so many HIPAA protections, where there's doctor-patient confidentiality, where somebody can't come out and say, hey, look, actually, I treated him and he really just had a stubbed toe or like an ingrown toenail. Like his legs weren't broken.
If you ran, because in part of the clips I watched, he said he ran for 2 miles with 2 broken legs. And like, as someone who's broken a leg, no, you didn't.
See, I've never broken a bone besides my fingers.
Yeah, there's absolutely no physical way. I don't care who you think you are.
So it's interesting, because did you see that x-ray that they showed of his legs where you guys, it's like a legitimate break, like his bones are separated.
That has to be somebody else or a different time.
But then I also saw that he said they were stress fractures, which are 2 very different things, because a stress fracture, you can actually, like people that suffer from shin splints, they can actually still be mobile in some capacity and push through it, because the breaks are very, very thin and like.
So is this a mass exaggeration that this guy does, or we don't even know?
I don't know. And that's where it's so convoluted. But so this guy's got a major platform on Instagram. He has 32.5 million followers.
Whoa.
Yes. So after his, like, I'm assuming wannabe Navy SEAL moment, he then decided, hey, look, I'm going to go back to college. I'm going to.
That's weird.
Or I'm going to go to college. I'm going to, live the frat life, which he did. But then his brother was a poker player. So he's like, hey, I'm going to jump on this bandwagon. I'm going to make a quick buck. And so
I'm going to make a quick buck at poker, said everyone, but no one ever did. Okay.
Except for Dan Bilzerian.
Oh, okay.
So he goes and starts working with his brother and starts doing these like online poker games. And something I found really, really interesting in my research is that he holds himself out to be a professional poker player. Like that is his career. But he has only played 2 poker matches in person. Everything else, he said he allegedly plays online in non-traceable games with billionaires, and that's where he makes his money. So he said one time,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
So these billionaires have billions of dollars and they're just like playing with it on the internet instead of like feeding us.
I'm like, I'm gonna become a poker player. Like, where are these non-traceable?
Can your brother games? Like have a TED talk or like a master class or whatever they call it? What's that website? Masterclass? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google non-traceable poker game after this.
Okay, so
wait.
Sorry.
So he has only played 2 games in person, and one of which was, I mean, all of these like big poker matches, like when you're at your
but
uncle's
is
house
this
or something,
like, yeah,
and you're there at like 2:00 p.m. on a Wednesday, and there's just like random things playing on ESPN,
and like your aunt is dealing. Oh, we're not playing, we're watching it. Okay. in my family, they were playing.
When they're watching ESPN. Your aunt's just like chain smoking a cig.
Oh my gosh.
Shuffling the cards with their titties. Okay. So he's participating in the poker match with his brother. He ends up winning $38,000. That's it. And coming in 180th place.
Wait, you go, that's it. But my jaw was like, whoa.
Yes, but this is a man who's holding himself out to be this professional poker player that has made $50 million, which is higher than any. He said that he made $50 million 1 year off of playing professional poker, which is extremely high and higher than any other professional poker player has ever made annually. So how much has Randall Emmett made? I don't know. I think he makes his money from, doesn't he play like cricket or something?
Oh, I thought he played professional poker.
I don't know, man, but that
it would be funny if they knew each other.
Yeah. Yeah, they have very different jawlines.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean,
Randall just needs a beard.
Yeah. Because I bet you if we shaved off Dan Bilzerian's beard, like he'd probably have 6 necks.
Yeah.
And that's why he makes it so pointy.
Yes. It's a wannabe jawline. It's like women that contour.
It's like an Escher painting where you're like, is the stairs keeping going up or bending backwards?
Okay, I forgot, what were we talking about?
Oh, that he made only $38,000 once.
Okay, yeah. So he only made $38,000, and so there's this big question of like, where the fuck is this guy making this money? Because his estimated net worth is like $200 million.
Wow.
And so
that's a lot.
And so, I mean, I'm sure he's making a shit ton of money on his Instagram by posting ads and stuff.
Wait. What are people basing this off of? His net worth? Like just like his whatever he says? Because I could say anything.
I'm assuming it's based on his assets and his company. But so speaking of companies, so with his very successful yet non-existent poker game and poker, I can't talk.
That's okay. Bad poker job.
Yeah, job. His poker
career. Well,
yeah.
It's hard to call that a career too.
Yeah. His poker career, he goes, wow, I'm going to invest money and create a business called Ignite.
Okay. Yeah. This is the part I'm familiar with.
And now if this doesn't scream fraudy, fraud,
right.
I don't know what does.
I know.
It is a fake business that is probably just laundering money through Canada.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys, it's this cannabis company called Ignite, and they focus on
that's generous.
It's just CBD products, correct?
Yeah, and like water bottles and bikinis, and you can get a bottle of vodka for $30 and like an $18 vape pen that's like a jewel pod.
But when in one of the interviews, he said that he hopes that this company becomes the first international cannabis business, where he wants to be worth $1 billion and eventually become president.
I promise you that if that man becomes the president of this country, I will leave. I won't even think twice. I will grab my bunny rabbit and I will get the fuck out of here. Where would I go? I would probably go to Australia.
Somewhere far, far away, because this idiot.
I know.
So he creates this company. I'm assuming has a shit ton of investors. They then go public, but this is the interesting part. They go public in Canada. Not in the United States. And so
and that's weird. Okay.
It's being publicly traded in Canada, and it starts off at like $2.50. Well, after a couple years go by, and I think he started this in like 2018 or something, because 2020 wasn't a great year for him. He spent, like, in the time that he had created this business, like $100 million, and only brought in a couple $1 million in profit or revenue.
I have so many questions, but I don't even know what they are at this point. You know, it's just how?
I think it's glaringly obvious that he just spends everything, and all of his lifestyle is based on a company Chase credit card that he hopes
he
everything
has
can
to
be
be getting off. So what I read on one random website in my 1 second Google search was that when his father got arrested and went to maybe prison, maybe the Epstein Island,
allegedly,
that right before that, after he paid his $3 million and there was still like $50 million to pay, that he moved that into trust accounts for the two boys. Yes. Peter, or whatever the brother's name is, and Dan. And so I think a lot of that.
So the two kids had trust funds where they received money at 30, 35, and 40, I think, like where they could access their trusts. So there's a lot of speculation around the money that his dad owed, and then the amount of money that was in their trust fund accounts. So Dan Bilzerian is adamant that he has never once touched any of the money in his trust funds, and that he has redirected that money to his brother.
For what purpose?
Because he said he doesn't need it.
Oh, he's just like that generous? God.
He's like, I don't need it. But you know what that screams? Fraud.
That is so fraudy.
They're just washing money and transferring money to different people. And then there's a lot of speculation that his dad is actually the one running this Ignite business in Canada, which poses like all of these SEC violations. Because he was convicted and could never trade again, or like couldn't own a company, and like couldn't participate in the stock market. So there's these theories that he's actually running the company out of Canada, and that's why it's just this like ongoing fraud, because like I told you, there's no money. This company's not bringing in any money. The president, I guess, or CEO, ended up filing a lawsuit against him because of all of his like negligible spending. He spent $130,000 on the company card for a yacht in Europe somewhere, and then he started spending money on like Grubhub.
What? Okay, whoa. Yeah. So he bought a yacht and then like ordered McDonald's,
razors, shampoo, deodorant. Yeah. And so
wait, from the yacht, like because there was nothing on it, so he needed stuff, or what?
Yeah, I'm sure he just went on a vacation, didn't have anything, and then was like, okay, I'm just going to charge the company card. I need my toiletries, and then I'm going to spend 2 nights on this mega yacht and charge it to the company card. And so the president and CEO of the company, is like, whoa, and was like, I don't trust this is causing a lot of concern, like we're going under because of the amount of money that you're spending. And so they fired him.
Whistleblower.
So I think earlier I said he left, but they actually fired him, and then he went and filed a wrongful termination against him.
So the guy that was like, hey, they're business partners, hey, stop spending all this money, this is like crazy and wasteful and illegal that you're doing this. Dan turns around and is like, "You're fired."
Yeah.
And then the guy who got fired sued Dan because he was like, "You fired me improperly." Like, you know, additional, like anyone's wrongful termination.
Well, yeah, it's retaliation. You can't just fire somebody.
Oh,
Of
course not. Of course not. But like, I'm just like, God, imagine like that's why you got fired. Like, that's insane.
But I guess multiple employees have come out, or former employees of Ignite have come out and corroborated the stories that this president was saying, that this spending is just outrageous. Like, the company's not bringing in anything. And so, you know, earlier I said that the company was being publicly traded at $2.50. Now it's down to like just 50 cents. Like, it's plummeted.
Oh, wow. So is he still like on his little yachts and stuff?
So allegedly, I actually want to check his Instagram right now, because in my research, a lot of the articles said that he hadn't been on Instagram since August 31st. Oh, because ever since all of these allegations of fraud have surfaced, he's gone silent. His last photo is from December 24th, 2020, and it is a photo of him in short shorts with 4 women, and all of them are wearing Santa hats, and Dan Bilzerian is wearing a Santa Claus's cloak.
And smoking a joint with, it looks like he's wearing Vans or something.
I mean, red flag.
Okay, like, this guy is clearly the short guy who was a nerd in high school, who was super mad and had the rich parents, but still no one wanted to be his friend, with anger issues, who had to grow a beard to find his neck.
Well, I'm glad you brought up his height and him having short man syndrome, because this man is 5'9".
Oh,
and you guys, look, 5'9" is the average height. I am 5'9".
But don't act like this.
Yeah, but I don't. That is like me walking around in a Gigi Hadid outfit, acting as though I had a body that looked like Gigi Hadid. Like, he's walking around with the energy of a 6'9" man.
He is walking around like he's The Rock. Like he is Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
And so Dwayne The Rock Johnson would simply flick this little piece of waste off of the speck of the planet.
Yeah, he's like a little tick or something. You know?
He's just so weird.
He's swollen in the face.
Like you could tell his teeth are completely like flat across in that really weird square way. That's like,
yeah. And he just looks like a blister, like one that you could just pop, you know?
Ew. And like all that would come out would be like fucking protein powder and smoke.
Oh, could you imagine what his farts smell?
No, that he has egg farts for sure. You could tell.
Okay, really quickly.
Anyone who looks like that has egg farts. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I want to wrap up the finances, and then I want to get into like the nitty gritty of like his sex addiction.
Okay, here for it.
Yeah. So really quickly, just to wrap up finances, you guys, MSNBC did this whole YouTube segment with somebody from one of the guys from Shark Tank, who's like a multimillionaire. I don't watch that show, so I don't. He's the bald guy.
Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, so they did a segment with him about how Dan Bilzerian is living in this $64 million house, and they're going through the property and they're asking questions like, how do you afford this? Like, let me understand your lifestyle. And he's like, well, I throw parties with like 3,000 guests, like Diplo's been here, Marshmallow, Tyga, Cardi B. And it's just bragging. There's like a 12-foot fountain. There's this mega garage downstairs. There's like 3 dining rooms. Well, come to find out, after that aired, they found out that he was actually renting that house for $200,000 a month.
Whoa.
And charging it on a card, and then we don't know who's paying it.
What?
I'm assuming, this is all alleged, I'm assuming that it is his company that's paying for it, or it's going to an offshore bank account that is owned by his father and mother.
What the fuck?
You guys, this is so deep. Like, it, and the fact that men, this is the problem I have with men sometimes, that he is so narcissistic and so self-absorbed that he is constantly committing crimes and probably sexual assault.
Yeah, no doubt.
Allegedly.
Maybe.
and that people are feeding into this, and like women are desperate enough to hang out with him, and like guys and like people are desperate enough to give him their own money to make him more successful. Like, I guess
he's preying off people. He uses them.
Yeah, and I guess he used all of the money, like all of the investors, all the money that they submitted in the early stages of the company, spent it all.
On what?
I mean, renting a tank to drive over a car, or like buying
so definitely not on like water bottles and global marketization. Okay, this is so do you want to like, I think you were having a sentence about what you hate about men.
Just
because I'll go if you have nothing.
Okay, go.
Okay, the thing that I fucking hate is like, there are men on this planet who hear somebody who has a beard and a weird pair of shoes on and some shorts. They hear that man say global monetization or global distribution or marketing strategy, and their little khaki shorts tent up and they get raging hard-ons and start to just like fully obsess over like this kind of person.
Yeah, their khaki shorts then get stained from the cum that is seeping out of their little peepees, and then they decide to go buy a pomade for their hair and a suit because they want to be Dan Bilzerian.
Right.
And they just want to live this fabricated life and pose in front of a Bentley.
And like, guess what? None of it's real. So you're just a fucking fool, because Dan Bilzerian is taking your stupid fucking money and spending it and actually experiencing the yachts and the women and the sex and the this. And you are just wearing khaki shorts from Sears.
With a cum stain.
With a cum stain. Okay. So I'll get off that pedestal now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My mom's gonna hate that.
So now we want to jump into the lavish life that Mr. Dan Bilzerian lives. And I'm not talking about finances. I'm talking about the guns and women that he just keeps around him to just stroke that.
Ew. I had the shivers just now. The bad ones.
Guys, this is one of the most disgusting, vile things. Okay, so this is something I find very interesting, is that Mr. Dan Bilzerian, with his 32.5 million followers, has labeled himself the king of Instagram. And allegedly, he has his PR team contact publications that are going to post articles about him or photos or op-eds and ask them to label him the king of Instagram.
Do you think that they'll ask us to do that?
The queen?
No, if we like title this episode, are they going to be like, excuse me, do you mind if you just go ahead and throw the king of Instagram in that title?
No, we're going to call him the king douchebag. Okay.
I'm going to call him the teeny weeny peeny teeny meeny man.
We should just post all of his stats, like fat, bloated face, 5'9", not a Navy SEAL.
Not a Navy SEAL.
And broke.
2. Next.
And sucks at poker.
And sucks at poker.
Lauren's aunt could kick your ass, and she can probably shuffle a deck of cards with her titties better than you.
Way better than you, all right? You little twerp.
Yeah, go take your egg farts and fat jawline and go away.
Suck a dick.
Yeah. Go away. Well, speaking of sucking dick.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, Mr. Dan Bilzerian holds himself out to be just this playboy, like the millennial. I guess he's not a millennial. He's born in the 80s. Like, I mean, I was born in the 80s.
Some of them still count. I don't know what the cutoff is.
Okay, well, he's a more modern Hugh Hefner. You guys, on Joe Rogan's podcast, he talked about sleeping with 17 women and having 17. I think at one time, like an orgy.
Oh.
Yeah. And having sex 9 times in one day. And he alleges that he has had 10,000 one-night stands.
Okay. So my first mental picture is 10,000 nightstands in that Costco size home. Okay.
Wait, hold on. What's that song? 10,000.
10,000, 2,900, 6,000 minutes. That one? I think that's from Rent.
No, it's like 10,000 red balloons.
Oh,
99 for 99 red balloons. Oh my God.
I mean, it's just so crazy. Like, first of all, you are not having sex with 17 women. Okay. You have one penis.
He has had 2 heart attacks before he was 30 because he consumed marijuana, cocaine, and 200 milligrams of Viagra in one night. So he's popping pills to get that dick hard.
Okay, see, he's a maniac. I mean, just without a doubt, like, I'm diagnosing him. I know we're not supposed to do that in this day and age, but this is a certifiable maniac.
Okay, have you ever had a friend that's a pathological liar?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me stories, because I want to hear, because I have a crazy.
I don't even know. Okay. Yes, I do. I do know somebody is a pathological liar. Okay, so back when I was at like summer camp days, like, I don't know, I barely had a sports bra, you know? I went to the summer camp.
You had like a limited to soft bra.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was not a girl, not yet a woman. Okay, so I'm like out at summer camp, and we had little drawers. Like, you could each have like 2 drawers or something in the cabin. And in mine, like, I brought my specific pair of underwear purchased and packed specifically for this particular trip. And all of a sudden, I'm like going, it's like the nighttime. So I go to put on my nighttime underwear, and there's a pair missing. And I'm like, what? So I'm looking around the cabin, and like the other girls are like in the shower line still. And I look, and in my roommate's laundry bag is my underwear. So I was like, that's weird.
Wait. Did you guys share a laundry basket?
No, we each had a laundry basket, because like your parents, like, you know, paid for you to get your laundry washed. So no, I had my own laundry basket. She had her own laundry basket.
Okay, how do you know it's your panties?
Because I purchased them. Okay, well, besides the fact that I purchased them specifically for this trip and they were mine.
Okay.
I was always a thicker gal. I've been thin about once, and that was when I was born. And most other girls at camp were very thin little girls. And there's just no way that my hunky-dory underwears fit this girl's tiny little body. There's no way. So I picked them out of her laundry basket and I put them in my laundry basket, because I'm like, okay, weird. And then the days go by, and then I go to do it again, and another pair is missing, and it's done again. So I go up to her and I go, hey, I think that somebody is coming in and using my underwear and then putting them in your hamper. And I think we need to tell like the security or something, like the camp counselor, because that's weird.
Was that your passive aggressive way of addressing the issue, or were you legitimately like, you were so?
No, I was 1,000% being passive aggressive,
okay.
Because there's no way I could have mustered up the confidence in my big fat little body to be like, hey, what are you doing with my underwear, skinny girl?
So did the skinny roommate look like a panty snatcher from the beginning? Like, did she have panty snatcher energy?
No, I didn't see it coming. That was the thing.
Okay, so what was her response when you said we need to go report?
Oh my God. She was like, no, I don't know why it would be in there. And I was like, oh, okay, well, did you take them? And she was like, no, absolutely not. I wouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. And then she went to some of our other like girlfriends in the cabin and told them all that I accused her of stealing my panties, which of course I did, but she did. So that's my pathological liar.
I can't. I don't even think I can tell my story now.
I kind of want to hear it.
No.
I bet it can't beat the girl at camp.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't follow up my pathological liar story is nowhere near that, even though I said it's fabulous. But there's something, it's just, I can't wrap my head around that mentality of believing a lie so much and also thinking that you're so smart that other people aren't seeing you for your truth. Like,
I
that
know.
as the, like, you and your panty snatcher, like, what, the fact that your roommate left it out so confident that you wouldn't recognize your own panty by putting it in her own hamper in front of your bunk.
I mean, come on, girl.
Like, I don't understand. Like, you're so delusional that you think that you can outsmart everyone.
I know, it's so weird. And that's exactly what this guy does. So, and I'm also thinking immediately to like when Dan said that he had sex with 17 women at once. My first thought was like, okay, why did you just bring that up? Like, was the question, how many girls have you fucked? Because I've never heard a journalist ask that question. So I don't understand why he answered that way.
It was on Joe Rogan, so I'm not sure, but I think maybe
that
it was
could go either way.
Maybe it was just a question about his lifestyle, but
oh wait, no, I saw this. Joe was like asking him, or they were talking about money buying happiness versus pleasure.
What a fucking loser this guy is.
I know.
Okay, so allegedly he keeps these women that he keeps around him. He keeps them on his payroll.
Well, at least they're getting paid, honestly. Thank God.
Yeah, like shout out to the women that are at least making making
some
a buck.
Money off this loser.
Yeah, and they're going on bomb ass vacations. But the thing is that he's such a loser. He has to pay people to be around him.
You know who he reminds me of? That guy who did Fire Festival. I don't remember his name, and I want to keep it that way. Yeah, because he was just wasn't it like Benny Metz or something? Or no?
Don't know.
Don't care. Anyway, they give me the same exact vibe. It's like they think that they have this. It's like you think you can do these things, Nemo, but you just can't. Like we all see what you're doing.
Dan Bilzerian is Fire Festival.
Yeah.
That's who he is as a person.
Exactly. Those poor girls.
Deli sandwich. Mm-hmm. Well, Dan Bilzerian is a deli sandwich in a styrofoam container with a side of mac and cheese.
And no meat.
No meat. And
and no one closed the styrofoam container.
Oh, and the lettuce is wet and wilted.
Mm-hmm. And it's sticking to the cheese that's sweaty, but it's not supposed to be because it's synthetic and it's not real cheese.
And the tomatoes, that like mealy, grainy.
And you're super mad that your boyfriend let you convince you to come here. You're super mad about it.
And you have now $14,000 of credit card debt on your $12,000 limit Chase credit card.
And 2 STDs.
And not only did you get scammed, but you got chlamydia.
Oh my God. I feel defeated. My shoulders are down. I'm slumped.
It took a specific type of person to go to that.
I know.
Okay.
Do you have any other things to say about him?
This is turning into high seas. I do. I actually have a lot of things to talk about still.
Okay.
Did you know that this gives me what's his name?
David Dobrik.
Okay.
Now I'm going to say it wrong. David Dobrik.
David Dobrik vibes, where he started filming videos of him being a douchebag. And one time he threw a girl off of a roof into a pool.
What the fuck?
She shattered her ankle because
what the fuck?
Yeah, so he threw her off the roof and her ankle hit the edge of the pool.
Okay. Yeah. What the fuck?
Also, he allegedly kicked a woman in the face with his combat boot at a club.
What? He would wear a combat boot to a club.
Oh, he's like that guy that wears like a V-neck white t-shirt and a tan cargo pant and a tan military boot.
I'm sorry. I'm disassociating.
He gives me not only the Columbine gun, all the machine guns and bazookas, he's Shooter McGavin vibes.
Oh, he is Shooter McGavin vibes so hard. Oh,
you guys, that is the name that we would call people. Like whenever we see somebody that fits the profile and just psychological makeup of a mass shooter, we call him him, only him, right? Because
It's never been a girl.
It's never been a her. It's generally,
and it's always a white guy.
One guy in his like 18 to 35.
Yeah.
And so we started calling him Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
I didn't know it was from Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember though, like when I worked with that guy who gave me the Apple Watch and like wanted me to wear it, and we called him Shooter McGavin because he would like watch me put my makeup on in my mirror, like so creepy.
That was a stalker. That was a scary moment. You have to go to HR.
That was a scary moment. Okay, so we'll skip that part. We'll cut that out.
No, wait. This is the craziest and one of the more offensive parts of his downfall and just life story.
There's more offensive parts.
It's like true story Dan Bilzerian, you know?
Oh my God.
Wait, or was it True Life?
True Life. I'm a dumb idiot. The Dan Bilzerian story.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't it called 30 for 30 or something? Isn't that what he would be on? Or no, I don't watch sports, so I have no idea.
Maybe if it was a real poker player that was on ESPN.
But he's never been on TV except for twice. So Lizzie, Lizzie, big loser.
Well, speaking of being on TV, so in his wannabe claim to fame of being a Navy SEAL, he decided to contribute $1 million to the production of Lone Survivor, which is a story about, a Navy SEAL that survives this terrible attack, and he's the only one out of his platoon that survives, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, sad.
So it's really sad. And so he donated $1 million to production so that he could get an 8-part cameo in the movie. So they give it to him, right? Well, then they cut that 8-minute part down to 60 seconds. And he, being the narcissist that he is, he decides to sue the company.
Oh my God.
Like loser energy.
Oh my God. Big loser energy. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, you know what it is? It's Viagra dick energy.
Just my God.
Big and big.
Viagra cocaine energy.
Big. It's just like lasts too long. Yeah, it's just ugh.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So who donates and then is like, wait a minute here, I'm gonna sue you? A Scrooge.
That's what a loser is. Like he has to be on scene with other actors pretending to be this Navy SEAL that he couldn't make it out to be.
Right.
Okay, wait. There is another part I wanted to talk about. Oh, what I was saying earlier before I got sidetracked, the most shocking part of his life story is that he was present at the October mass shooting in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. And so being the psychopath that he is, and he just goes out and tells people that he's just like such a strong man, he started telling people that he was assisting people in escaping the mass shooting and like putting people in cars, was like trying to save people's lives, and he was live streaming the entire thing.
What the fuck, dude?
Did you know this? He went up to a cop who had a rifle out and he said, "Give me your gun, let me help." And I swear to you guys, this is alleged because the audio is really faint, but I swear to you, he tells the cop, "Give me your gun, I'm a cop."
He does, and he showed him allegedly. From what I saw, that he showed him a badge.
Yeah, he's like, "I have my badge," and the police officer was like, "I don't know who the fuck you are." Like,
right.
He's like, "I'm not giving you a gun." He's like, "Get out of here." He's like, "I've got a badge."
Well, and it's like, fuck you. This guy is like looking for an active shooter. Like, we're in an emergency. What cop on earth is going to be like, "Oh, hey, you're just here to help? Okay, join the militia."
And that is the perfect example of him being a narcissist, turning a tragedy like that, an active ongoing tragedy like that, into a story about himself, because he knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't give a fuck about those people.
Well, he said that when I saw a video of him like recounting the thing and describing like the death of somebody next to him.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? Fuck you. Like I've been in a very traumatic situation where a lot of people unfortunately passed away. And hearing somebody talk like that about something like that was so terrible is so insane and blasphemous to me. It's hurtful. And this guy's a freak.
Well, and he's not saying it to tell the story of what happened. He's
No.
saying it to get attention and be lauded the hero, which
Right.
I find it hilarious, though, that he was videotaping it, and that ended up being the downfall of everything. And it was really just a bow tie on this package of douchebagness.
Wow. What a fucking asshole.
I just feel bad for people that have been victims of him, for people that have associated and
People
been
need
taken
to think
advantage
a little
of.
harder, though. Like, people really do need to think a little harder. Like, Google something just one more time, or two more times, or three more times. Just like in the Wikipedia page, like I Googled Dan Bilzerian because I wanted to know who we were talking about. And like in the first paragraph, it said like the name of his dad. And then I clicked it and learned that he was like the recipient of possibly 50 million fraudulent dollars. Like that took less than a minute.
So my question to you is, where is Dill? That should be his name, Dill. Where is Dan Bilzerian now?
Where is he now? So I would guess he's on that island.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you think that he's totally made an exit?
Yeah. I think he's pulling a Ghislaine Maxwell.
Well, she was in New Hampshire.
Yeah, well, she didn't have the same amount of money as Dan, allegedly.
I'm just so fascinated by it. And I invite everybody to go through his Instagram and just scroll. Like right now, I'm looking at a photo of him standing next to a private jet wearing combat boots that don't have shoelaces in them, a tan cargo, a white V-neck.
Oh my God.
And a camo colored puffer jacket. And there's a young girl standing next to him smoking a joint.
Does he have dog tags on?
No, his question, I wouldn't be surprised. His caption says, "Nice to get high before you fly."
Yeah, we know.
You know what? And it's nice to get high when we have to talk about this loser.
I know, but I think it's a public service sometimes that we have to do, is to like tell the story of the people that like aren't on our radars all the time.
Yeah,
Because like, God, if you hear your boyfriend talking about this man, please take a second and listen, because you're going to learn a lot about your boyfriend by the sentence that follows, whatever that guy's name is. Dan.
Could you imagine knowing the name Dan Bilzerian because your boyfriend likes him and follows him on Instagram?
No, I would shed all my skin off and just go disintegrate in a hole somewhere. I wouldn't be able to cope.
I would be more excited if my boyfriend followed thousands of bikini models over him.
I'm just so thankful that my boyfriend's a nerd.
Oh, I'm so grateful my boyfriend doesn't have Instagram or social media.
Yeah.
I feel like he's living in not his grandparents, living in his mom and dad's basement in their Costco warehouse.
Where's
home.
the mom?
I mean, living a fabulous life, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Where's the brother?
I think he's a legitimate poker player. And I mean, I'm sure he's involved in all of it. That's why it gives me the Rudy Madoff vibes, where it was like a family task where everybody was just handing money to everybody.
Yeah, it feels like that. It's weird.
I just can't imagine. Like, he gives me, this is gonna be so vulgar. He gives me, that Viagra dick energy, but also somebody that's like, I have sex with 17 women in a night and can't come and in no way pleasures a woman.
Oh, 1,000%. He would not be able. No, he doesn't care about anyone other than his reputation. He doesn't even care about himself because he's going around having heart attacks left and right from taking all those pills in one night.
Could you imagine? Like, I wish, like, say he got arrested and went to prison, I would hope to God that they're just like, you have to shave your beard.
Oh,
because like, don't you love it when you see like an attractive person get arrested for killing their husband or their wife, and then you see them like a year and a half later in their orange jumpsuit and their roots are down to their ears and they have like half gray, half blonde hair, and the Botox is worn off.
Yeah, it's like the mugshot of like a old cat lady or something. A black widow.
God, I'm fascinated by this guy.
I know. Well, I can't wait to see what comes
You know
next for him.
He has a gay energy about him though. And I mean that no disrespect to anybody, but with his
no disrespect to the gays, but
yeah, like I don't want to offend the gays because he's not worthy. But
no.
He just gives me that energy with like the tiny little short shorts and like, but I guess that maybe that's the Armenian like European vibe.
He's from Florida.
But his dad's from Armenia.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, maybe they try. Oh God, I don't know. Why am I making excuses?
I don't know.
Loser. Oh my God, am I going down the?
It just starts with one excuse.
I'm starting to sympathize with the douchebag.
Dan Bilzerian is the gateway drug.
Oh my God, I can't. I just wonder, like, did you ever watch Christmas Vacation? Remember when they cut the turkey open and it just deflates and it's like empty on the inside?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like if you were to cut him open, it would be the deflated turkey from Christmas Vacation.
Oh, totally.
Where it's like leathery and then it just like makes a puff sound and it's just dry inside.
Yeah, I agree. Has he done anything else weird?
I'm trying to think. He ran over a car with a tank and like blew up something on his property, and I think he was charged with some type of crime with that. And I think he was investigated for making a bomb.
Oh, that's what. Yeah. So he got arrested at LAX when he landed because he was arrested for bomb making charges in like Nevada. And it's like Nevada's like the wild, wild west. How do you get in trouble out there?
He posted a photo of himself outside his rented $64 million pad. And his caption says, "Does this house make my dick look bigger?"
Ew. This is who we're dealing with, you guys. These people walk among us. If you or your boyfriend references this guy in a positive way, please consider therapy.
And call a hotline to get
or
help.
Send us an email at allegedlybravo@gmail.com so that we can just like we have a ceremony for you. We got to help
you through it. Have them like align our chakras.
You got to get right.
Yeah, probably recommend you to a Reiki therapist of sorts.
Yeah.
You want to discharge that negative energy.
You need to discharge that negative energy, just like your boyfriend discharges his little.
Yeah, and you probably need to go get a pap smear and get a little STD checkup, because if your boyfriend's swiping on Dan Bilzerian's Instagram account, I'm sure he's picked up an STD of sorts.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. So that was
you know, I don't even think we have to make a judgment on this one. I don't even think he's worth it. And I think it's just a general consensus that he sucks.
He sucks so bad. Prison, send him to prison.
Prison. Don't even need him to be, fuck the Constitution.
Just I know, not for this guy. Put him on that island with his dad just so they can go away.
Okay, bye you guys. I hope you enjoyed this kind of spontaneous, sporadic episode.
Yeah, but that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
And we learned something.
Total curveball.
Yeah.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.